Humans are usually coined by members of its own species to be supremely and uniquely smart. We think that intelligence is exclusive to ourselves and that everything we do is because of intelligence. And although this claim may seem just a tad bit arrogant because it stems at the root of it from a foundation of vanity over our intelligence as a species, it is important to consider how incredible the human mind is. Because when you think about it, everything that we're doing, everything that we feel, is a result of the mind. When things happen to you, you perceive them, and that makes them you feel emotions, and those emotions make you do other things. When something happens to you, whether good or bad, they only have meaning because your brain processes them in a way that's logical, in a way that's emotional and sentient. If you had no brain, anything that happens to you whatsoever would have no effect. What's more, everything that you do is also primed by your own intelligence. When you're doing A because you think that A would lead to B. Or maybe you're doing B because you think that B would make you feel a certain emotion, C. Emotions and logics are also part of intelligence, and they are the driving factor behind everything you do and everything you feel. But I'm not here to engage you in a philosophical debate and discussion of meaning of human intelligence, but I'm here to tell you about artificial intelligence, and that it might reinvent the very way that we think of intelligence at all. So, let me start just first by giving you a definitive framework of what intelligence is, because it would be unfair to try and classify intelligence in any niche category that it has. By a show of hands, I'd like someone to think. When I ask you, think of a smart person, someone that you think everyone would know. Most of you, just like myself, would think of someone like Sir Isaac Newton, or Albert Einstein, or maybe Stephen Hawking. And although these are figures of significant intelligence, they're not the only ones, and they fit in the same category of intelligence. We've forgotten Beethoven, Van Gogh, Picasso. These are figures of artistic intelligence that could also be classified in terms of intelligence. You could see that intelligence is such a wide term that covers such a broad spectrum of meaning that it would be unfair to try and inspect artificial intelligence without giving a definitive framework of what intelligence is. And I define it as the following. Intelligence is the act of processing information and the results thereof. Now, with the wheel of intelligence in place, how then do I think artificial intelligence will reinvent our perspective of this wheel? Well, we'll start with a basic quote from Mr. Douglas Adams. Anything that's in the world when you're born is normal, and it's just part of the natural way of things. Anything that's invented between when you're 18 and 35 is something that's worth getting excited about, something that you could get a career in. However, anything that's invented after the age of 35 is against the natural way of things and mostly makes people averse to them. Well said, Mr. Douglas Adams. I believe this holds completely true for artificial intelligence. Most people believe that artificial intelligence is a threat to human existence and believe that they're not part of the natural way of the world. And by reinventing intelligence, that we're charting into territories that we should not do. In my opinion, it is true that artificial intelligence is doing something that's massive, enormous, and it's going to lead us into a new era of intelligence indeed, but not in the way that people scared that they will. I'm very excited personally over the development of artificial intelligence, and you should be too. First, I'd like to start with a basic understanding of what artificial intelligence is. AI is a term so broad that it means so much to the point where it means nothing at all. Artificial intelligence, or the type that we're going to inspect today, are machine learning, deep learning, and general purpose artificial intelligence, things that try to mimic how humans think and do things that surpass us, becoming a form of superintelligence in and of itself. Well, you could take an example. Artificial intelligence are already surpassing humans in this day and age today. Superintelligence are coming towards us. Superintelligence already exists in many fields in the world. Let's talk about some puzzle games, chess or Go. AlphaGo, AlphaZero, and Stockfish are tools or game bots that are already surpassing human in such a great margin that it's not even worth comparing the best of humans to just an average computer. We'll inspect Stockfish and AlphaZero to give you a better understanding of how artificial intelligence work and how even the tiniest change between how it's trained could lead to vastly different consequences in terms of intelligence. We'll start with Stockfish. Stockfish is trained upon what's called reinforcement learning. It knows the rules and learns from a database of real-world game and chess theory in order to give out the best analysis of a position and to be able to play the best moves. AlphaZero, on the other hand, is only given the rules and are allowed to play games with itself, where when it wins, it's rewarded, but when it loses, it says it played a bad game. The difference between AlphaZero and Stockfish are massive. AlphaZero adopts a dynamic and very aggressive style of play, while Stockfish is more risk-averse and conservative. This is because Stockfish is trained upon human data. It works by evaluating the position in order to reach the greatest advantage. So, because it was trained by humans who are risk-averse, it plays in the style that avoids risk. However, for AlphaZero is graded upon. However, for AlphaZero, it evaluates positions upon probability of failures and probability of success. AlphaZero has no human intervention besides its initial commands, and is therefore more dynamic. It plays the best moves and just overall much more aggressive. From this analysis of Stockfish and AlphaZero, what do we understand about artificial intelligence? Well, for one, they're getting a lot better at us if they're given clear instructions of what to do. If you tell an AI to tell me what a cat is, it's going to struggle because it, first of all, does not know what's a cat and the varieties of a cat. What defining features does a cat have, and a million other variables. That's why you need data to train these machines. Second, artificial intelligence works vastly differently based on how they're trained. This might give us a clue into how intelligence is developed and how these artificial intelligence might develop in ways that are different from us humans, and trying to mold artificial intelligence in the way that we perceive intelligence might not reach the best results. Third of all, we get to understand that there are difficulties in understanding how these machines work. These machines are trained by machines and are machines themselves. Even the computer scientist that created Stockfish or created AlphaZero does not know how it does what it does and how it evaluates the position as it does. It gets even more complex at the level of general purpose artificial intelligence, like ChatGPT. We're already entering an age where we're losing track of our creation. And this is what most computer scientists fear. When artificial intelligence gets so intelligent that we begin to not understand what its goals are, this could be dangerous, because losing track of our creations means losing track of progress and leaving the role of masters of our fate into the hands of someone else, someone that's more intelligent or someone that might think completely different from us. There are more than one way to develop intelligence, and AI is showcasing that to the greatest extent. How does artificial intelligence prime us to rethink and reinvent the way we look at intelligence today? Well, for one, we should stop trying to mimic what's inside of our brain. Although we have an incredible machines inside of our skeletons, it is important to think of other ways that intelligence might be developed. Artificial intelligence are already getting out of hand that we can't understand how they do what they do. It's important then for us to rethink intelligence not in the traditional way of processing information, but perhaps in other subtopics and subcategories of how intelligence might come across in order to develop as a species going forward. What does this mean for the sidelining layman who has nothing to do with AI research or technological development? Well, the results, I think, will unfurl in front of our eyes soon enough. But for now, what you can do is to stop thinking of AI as a doom-laden prophecy that will end humanity. Get excited about AI. Get excited about how you think of your brain. Appreciate what you have in your mind and try to use that intelligence to the best of its capabilities. The wheels of artificial intelligence research has already started to roll, and it is our duty to reinvent how we think of these wheels in order to not get crushed by them. Thank you for listening.